What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And as you guys can see by the title, today we're going to be installing my new carbon fiber radiator brace from Vescca. Big shout out to them for partnering up with me on this project. So this is for the F8X cars and also for the F3X. It's basically the same installation process. If anything, it'll be a little bit easier for the F3X people because we don't have the carbon fiber strut bar. But I have the radiator brace right below me. I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it and show it to you guys. And then we'll go ahead and get started with the installation process. Looking good. This is the underside, carbon. Now let's look at the nice part. Ooh, this is nice. This is gonna look really good on the engine bay. Nice, shiny, glossy carbon fiber. What do you guys think? Dude, the quality of this is amazing. Big shout out to Vescca. This is a really, really nice piece. And in my opinion, if you're trying to make your car a show car, and if you attend a lot of shows and you have a F8X or F3X car, this is something that you guys are going to want to get. So I'll have the link down below if you guys are interested. Obviously we haven't installed it, but it's been tested. Everything, the fitment from my understanding is 100% OEM. So we're going to go ahead and find out. I'll let you guys know if it is. So before we get started, here's a closer look at the piece under the light. You guys can get a better idea on how it looks. Amazing quality for sure. Clean around the edges. Dude, this is going to look so good on here once it's installed. The installation process, I do have a PDF file that they put together for you guys, or for anybody that wants to purchase it. I think they might include it with the purchase, or they'll have it on their website. Also, for me, it's going to be a little bit different because I am using aftermarket bolts, and I do not have the Torx bolts that you normally have to use. Like I have to use Allen wrenches or Allen bits. Everything besides that would be the same process. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work. Obviously these are, just keep in mind on where you remove the bolts, but it's self-explanatory on where they go. Like you really don't have a lot. And then once you remove those, you are going to have to remove this bracket as well, the headlight bracket. And then there are some little clips underneath here. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. And then I'll show you guys everything. And if I experience any issues removing it, I'll let you guys know where, but I think it'll be a very easy install. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the bolts. I went ahead and took two out. And one thing that I do wanna recommend, maybe you guys might wanna do this, maybe you don't, but what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be taking the bolts out and laying them on the table that I have as they go. That way I don't mix them up. If anything, it's more for my convenience because I think the factory ones, there's only one spot where they can go, but it's also a better way to keep track of where the right size bolts are. And I'm just going to lay them how they are laid out over here on the table. And that way I know which one goes where. I'll try to have the PDF in the description for you guys. If not, then more than likely it will be on the website. But I'm going to go ahead and complete removing all the bolts, and then we can move on to the next step. All right, so one thing is that these pieces that go on your factory brace, you have to twist them off. I can't really get a good grip of it, so unless you have like some really strong finger grip, I would just take some pliers and twist it off. So if you take the brace off, you'll see how it's supposed to twist off. Just make sure that you don't put enough pressure to where you actually break the plastic. But once you get a good grip of it, all it takes is just a little bit of twist and it comes right off. And then what you want to do is take this piece and put it on your new one. So I have the clips in, and I do want to say that these clips only line up one way. So make sure that you have it lined up correctly before you start trying to press it in. One of them went in a little bit easier than the other one, but trust me, they go in without any problems. You shouldn't have to trim anything. And like I said, line them up correctly with the holes on the carbon, and then you should be able to just press it in. One of them, it kind of snapped in a lot easier than the other one. But once you have it in there, grab your pliers, or do it by hand if you can, and then just twist it to make sure that it locks in place so it doesn't get loose later on in the future. So before we get started, I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a quick wipe down. Not like it matters, but you know, why not, right? Why not? Now the fun part. All we gotta do is line this up. Get your latch in there. You're gonna have to twist it at a slight angle to get one side in. There we go. All right, so the one that's gonna go in first is the top latch. Once you get the top one in there, then the bottom one will go in a lot easier. There we go. Now, bingo. Easy peasy. So the latch is lined up. This one's a little bit off, but obviously you need the bolts in there to hold it in place. So one thing that you do not want to do is tighten the bolts all the way down. Just go ahead and thread them in by hand. Make sure that everything lines up as it should. And then we can go ahead and place these clips back in there. I didn't clean this one up, but that's okay. So pretty much in like that. Holds it in place. Now we can put our caps on there. There we go. So I have the piece in here. I have the bolts that hold on the latches in there. And before I tighten everything up, I'm gonna make sure that the hood latches correctly. And I think we should be okay. Everything seems to be lined up as it should be. And also I gotta remove this light. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna record it because it's pretty much the finishing part at the end right now, which you guys already know what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna put all the bolts back, and then I'm gonna show you guys the final result with the car outside in the sunlight. That way you guys can get a full view of the entire engine bay and you can see how good this looks. But super happy with this. So let me go ahead and finish up, and then I'll pull the car outside so we can take a look at it. One thing that I do want to mention is that, so for the non-M cars, when we run a aftermarket hardware kit, you have to use like a little nut to hold these in place, because obviously they're just in there, they're just for show. So they go on here. But because this is typically made for the M cars, and the M cars have the strut brace that mounts over here, we don't have to use that little nut, because they put little they put like a threaded piece or a nut in there, so you can just twist it on there and tighten it up. The other one, that was a little bit of a pain to install, because you had to make sure you put the nut on there and not drop it in place while you were trying to tighten it up. So that's a little cool little perk for the non-M cars, that you don't have to worry about that if you ever want to run aftermarket bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up and then pull the car outside like I said. All right guys, so here we have it, the final outcome. paired with my carbon engine cover. I think it looks really nice. One thing that I do like is that the weave is going in the same direction on both pieces. So that means that whenever I do my custom piece, I got to make sure that this one goes the same route. But 10 out of 10 recommend. No fitment issues. Everything lined up as it should be. But I do want to say that when you tighten everything up, do not do it with a power tool. Use your hands, because if you do a power tool, you could over tighten it, and then you do not want to crack the resin or the epoxy, whatever it is. You just don't want to crack the piece if you over tighten it. So do it by hand and you'll be okay. But yeah, super happy with the results. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the overall project so far. Obviously, this piece was something that I've been wanting to add, like I've said it already before, and I'm glad that I have it on there now. So thank you, Vescca, for partnering up with the project, the one-of-one F32/M4 looking car. So I do have some plans with this car for the rest of the year. Hopefully, I can do a little bit more traveling. And the mods are going to be slowing down quite a bit, just because there's really nothing else that I would like to add to this car besides a upgraded turbo kit. So I'm still looking at my options for that, and I haven't really decided what I want to do. And also, it all depends on how much I want to invest into the overall project. But I do want to do like polished piping or a polished turbo housing. So depending on what I do, either bottom mount or top mount, something's going to be polished in there, and I think it'll pair up nice with the wheels, and it'll give it that nice little touch of pop when it comes to show events. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.